Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Philly, how you doing? I don't know who else is in here with you. They're choosing to sit in the bushes and not hit the like button. If y'all could, at least speak when you come in my house, as you would anyone else when you go over their house. But it's neither here nor there. The reason why I'm doing this live today is the beginning of a new week. And frankly, I've been carrying this for 2 years. Well, at least you rang the doorbell, sweetie, and you spoke to me when you came in. I appreciate that. It makes you ask who raised people, right, Philly? Ain't that it? Good afternoon, Miss Roxanne. Hi, Smiley. Thank y'all for joining me. So, as I was saying, I decided to do this today after the last few days I've been walking around the YouTube streets and listening to a lot of people's reactions. Can y'all hear me okay? Um, and what I gathered from it was a lot of mixed emotions, and believe me, I understand. As I stated, I've lived this with thousands of other people for the last 2 years. And to see it in this way, undoubtedly, is heartbreaking. Good afternoon, Miss Tina. Thank you for joining us. Um, it's undoubtedly heartfelt. Hello, everybody coming in, even the people in the bushes. I understand it's a nice day today, so you want to stay outside. That's cool. But please just grasp what I'm trying to say here this afternoon. And God knows that I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but I hope that you take something from what I'm saying. So, for these last few days, I see that a lot of people are really coming down on. Well, let me do this. I want to start from the beginning of the sentencing. As far as Nazaya's grandmother is concerned, she deserves an Emmy and an Oscar, hell, a Grammy, SAG award. She deserves whatever, any award that can be given for her acting that day. I don't know if people are so selfish that they don't care, or if they really just don't know what an impact statement is supposed to contain, what it's supposed to detail. But it certainly is not an opportunity for someone that not only participated but was directly complicit in what happened to the survivors and the victim of her own household. I dare say that she chose that time in front of people that she knew had a nasty disdain for her. She chose to sit in front of us, in front of the world, because she knew that the cameras were on, to act like she was so distraught. She was, for herself. She chose to sit and talk about what she lost. Naziah didn't take it. She chose to sit up and say how there are days when she can't sleep, and you shouldn't. But let nobody forget, she slept very well, very well, the night that they say baby girl Naziah was missing. That female, that old female, climbed in her bed and slept very well, I dare say. And why do you say that, Miss Sean B? Because she waited until the next day to go even report this baby missing to anyone. Her daughter claims that she asked her, should we call the police? She said, no, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Tomorrow? Tomorrow? Is your name Annie, lady? Tomorrow? Really? So when she talk about her level of discomfort, who really give a damn? Because I don't. She talk about how people ringing her doorbell and harassing her and following her and all of that. Yeah. And they would have followed you the day that you went looking for Naziah, had you. You would have had many followers. Had you, for these last 2 years, even acted like you're acting that day, if you had given those days for the last 2 years an effort to look for Naziah, to speak for Naziah, to celebrate Naziah, her birthday, acknowledge her during the 4th of July, because that's one less child there to play like a child. For Christmas, that's one less child with gifts under the tree that is anticipating all the things that she's thought about that she wants for Christmas. But did you do that, old lady? No, you did not. In fact, your daughters was saying, one of them specifically, I don't care about her. All I give a damn about are my kids. Oh, that's what she said, the googly-eyed one. That's what she said on Facebook. Everybody saw it. I'm sure it's gone now. But see, Miss Sean B don't have a reason to lie. Oh, that's what she said. She said, I don't care. No, she said, stop talking to me about Naziah. All I care about are my kids. Mm-hmm. So you being the lady of the house, you mean to tell me that you lost so much control of your kids, even though they done started spitting out spawns, you couldn't tell them, stop acting like that? This is my granddaughter y'all talking about? See, because even though Annette adopted Naziah, she was still her granddaughter. Her first daughter was Naziah's mother. This ain't no pretend, no because I love her, no because I raised her, I call her my daughter. No, that was her daughter who gave birth to her daughter. But I digress. She got up there and she acted like she was crying and she was snotting all over the place. You a damn lie, lady. Your face remained dry. Your face remained dry. Stop playing with us. What you think? Could nobody see past that bird's nest you had on top of your head? Well, we did. That's a fact. You were selfish. She was selfish. She was self-centered. And not one time did she say, I don't agree with this plea deal. My granddaughter deserves better and more, all of them. And Jarvis, where's my granddaughter? Not one time did this female say this. This old lady did not say that. Not one time did she demand any answers. And some people chooses to think it's because she knows. And when I say that, what I mean is she knows because the convicted felon, now that he is, told the courts where he left Naziah. Smiley says, none of them should have been able to give an impact statement or speak for a child they didn't speak for when she was being abused. It made my stomach sick. May karma come knocking for them all. Absolutely. For those three, absolutely. Absolutely. Because as I've stated from the beginning, all three of them were complicit, if not directly accomplices to what happened to Naziah. And the fact that either of them dropped those girls off at that shop makes them, in my head, in my knowledge of law, makes them accomplices to the neglect and the abuse of those babies. But see, the difference between the twins and their mama is, see, their mama suffered abuse. Her daughters committed it against their own family members. And I'm not going to stop saying that because I don't want people to forget that. It's a fact. And it's an important one to the decisions that they made later on when the convicted felon stepped into their aura, stepped into their house, because it was not a home. It was not. Love did not dwell there. Struggles every day, all day. I don't know how many of you saw the video of them in the morning before school. That video was leaked right after this bird's nest wearing chick got up on the stand and said, well, first we say prayer, and then, I get the kids together and I take them to school. Yes, omitting the fact that Naziah caught the bus. But your other kids, you took them to school. I'd sure as hell like to know why, but of course they're never going to tell it. Well, that video showed that she was totally debasing these children before school about socks and about a coat. This is how you're sending these children out into the world in the morning? This is how you're doing that? Oh, okay. So this is how you do it. You cuss them out first, and then you pray to God. That's how you do that? Yeah, okay. So anyway, I move on from the dry snot rag, okay? From the dry face, the dry snot rag that matched the dry wig. Anywho, Miss Decrepit herself. I can't wait until she truly is. In any case, then comes up one of her demon spawns. And I say that because neither one of them throughout the 2 years said where Mr. McNasty is Naziah. Where is Naziah? They used words like my niece, her, she. No, bitch, say her name. Say her name. I dare you. And then this one went to snotting and all of that after she talked about how she was stalked. Didn't nobody stalk you. The people that came to that house to talk to your boyfriend came because he invited them there. They didn't kick in the door and go sit in the house and, bogart their way through the house. He told them, they back there in the back room, go see him. He said that. That's what Dre said. His name is Andre. I don't know his last name, but that's his name. He called a certain podcaster, told him he wanted to talk to him. The specifics, I don't know. We are not privy to the conversation. But in any case, hey, Ray from PA, how are you? That podcaster with his team and one of Nazia's cousins made their way to that house where Dre lived, unbeknownst to them that the twins was in the house. They didn't know. He didn't know, the podcaster. He didn't know. But once they got there, Dre started telling them all kind of stuff. Like how if one of them twin sons don't get no help, he's going to be just like the convicted felon. Let's be clear here. Dog barking and crap. They trying to keep the dog quiet, but the dog can tell the energy in the room. And somehow, somewhere in the conversation, they got on them twins. And he said, they back there. Go see. They back there. And the podcaster clearly walked right back there. Doors open, and they looked like they had seen a ghost when they looked up and saw that podcaster sitting there. So, honey girl, wasn't nobody stalking you. They were invited there. So stop lying. At the bowling alley. Someone was able to get a picture and a little bit of video. But who's stalking you? You posted video of y'all at the bowling alley. And in fact, in one of those footage, you point blank was heard telling Nazia, I'm gonna beat your ass. Huh? Because you getting on my nerves. She was at a bowling alley. Oh, your kids running around like they had no home training didn't get on your nerves, but Nazia did, right? And she got so tired of the evangelist's camera on her, she literally covered her face. It's like she was always on display. And why? Why? You didn't put yours on display. Why are you putting somebody else's child on display? Because you were complicit. You were an accomplice. You dropped those kids off, those girls off at that shop, just like the rest of them. Just as well as he came and picked them up, you dropped them off. You've been heard saying, the googly-eyed one was heard saying on camera, oh, I can't wait for it to go to trial because they don't have any evidence. That is the mother of one of the young women, because they're young ladies now, not young women, I'm sorry. Young ladies now that gave a true impact statement on that stand. Your daughter was one of them. And you fix your shithole to say they ain't got no evidence. Your daughter is part of the evidence. What he did to your daughter is part of the evidence. Your niece, your sister's daughter, gave testimony of what she was exposed to. Is that not, you dumbass, evidence? That's not evidence in your eyes. That's because y'all cut from the same cloth. We're going to talk about it this here Sunday. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it. That didn't seem like evidence to you, just like when your cousin sat on that same podcaster's panel and told what you did to her. You nasty thing. You're a thing. You are not a person. You're a thing. I wish it were true that you could peel the skin off your face and show that you're a robot. It would make more sense. But as it is, it's truly disgusting because you gave birth to what you just kept dismissing, all while you've been supporting the convicted felon, all while he's been locked up. Oh, you think people don't know? People know. People are telling. You were not using your ID. You were using your twin sister's ID. And y'all are identical. Except to those of us that's been looking at y'all for the last 2 years, and we can tell y'all apart. That's how you were going to see him. She was going to see him by using her sister's ID. As if it made a difference morally. It didn't. But anyway. I digress. So her sister gets up there and after she told about how she lost jobs and she was homeless and they were being stalked and threatened and Naziah didn't do it. When your daughter came and told you what was happening and you told her, shut up, stop lying, your daughter didn't do it. When your niece told her mother what was happening to her and y'all shut her up, she didn't do it either. And today, I am going to say that daughter's name. Because her name was posted in the courtroom. The angel that I am speaking about name is Janiah. Janiah is the one that the other girl that gave testimony in the courtroom during the preliminary hearing, her name is Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the daughter of the snot-faced one who gave her statement during the sentencing. Janiah is the daughter of the one who had to put the attention on her and got put out of the courtroom. And the one thing that Brooklyn's mother said that I totally and utterly agree with is wishing that they had the electric chair. Is one thing that I dare say she never thought of is that when she put that in our head, oh, we could put them 3 right in line after his ass. Yes, we could. Oh, we could see it clear as day. We could. Smell like bacon around that bitch. Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have. Bacon, breakfast time. Who wants some? Okay? Yeah. So, that's the only thing that she said that I agree with. Because, see, when I start talking about the convicted felon, I don't want anybody to get it twisted what I'm saying. Don't add nothing to it. Don't take nothing from it, because Sean B about to be real clear about what I'm saying and how I feel. Or I'm about to be damn clear. All this time, for the last 2 years, all we've been saying is, does he have any feelings? Bro, where is your feelings, dude? How do you do this to these kids? Are you even human? That's what we've been saying for the last 2 years. And then his sister stepped up on the platform to give her statement. And when she did, I believe personally that she tapped into a part of him that we have all along been asking was there. So then as soon as she tap into it and she wake it up, even if it was just a corner of his heart, we've been asking all this time, do this dude have a heart? Do he care about anything that he's been doing? We've been asking that question. Thank you, Shanta. I'm here, love. So then his sister steps up on the platform and she wakes it up. She wakes it up. She came up there. She did not sit down. She did not have a pre-prepared or instantly prepared statement to read from. That's what I call coming straight off the cuff, straight from the heart. Y'all, can y'all speak back to our visitors and our family members that are speaking to us? Can y'all do that for me, please? When someone speaks to you, it's only polite that you speak back. Hello, Miss West. How are you? Good afternoon to you, love. And so when his sister started to speak, she let it be clear. She like, look, listen, I ain't even planning on being here. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing y'all because I don't speak like her and she don't speak like me. I'm giving it to you raw, uncut. I don't know no other way to be. Take it or leave it. But this is what she said. I got up this morning with every intentions on going to work. I did not plan on being here because I've been dealing with this for the last 2 years. I've been disrespected. My children, my grandchildren have been disrespected. All on every social media site that I could think of. This is what his sister said. I believe at this point she's addressing the court, letting the judge know what she's had to go through. But it did not deter her from showing up that day. When she got up on the stand during the preliminary hearing, unlike the two that Naziah Harris is directly related to, she, his sister, told the truth. Her name is Tiwana. She told the truth. She did not need any prompting to point him out, to identify him. She didn't need her glasses. She didn't need nothing. No, she pointed him right out. There you go. How do you know him? That's my little brother. Period. When they asked Naziah's grandmother when she was at the preliminary hearing to see him, this thing had the nerve to look up at the damn ceiling. Y'all, I can't make this shit up. I ain't gotta. I don't have to. Do your own research. You'll see it. She looked up at the ceiling and then looked around the courtroom. Well, where the hell did you think he was? Sitting over there on the side of the fucking cameraman? Lady, 60-something years old. You know damn well where the defendant would be sitting. But she looked all around the courtroom just to say. She even looked over past the judge. And the judge looked like, the hell? Just for her to say, I don't see him. For the prosecutor to say, do you wear glasses? Oh, yeah. I need my glasses. My daughter has them. Yes, she should, right? Yes, she should. So this chick, after looking at this pedo for the last umpteen years, is going to actually say to the court, yeah, I need my glasses. in order to identify somebody when you didn't have on glasses when he walked in the door during Parker's birthday party. You didn't need glasses then. When I dare say he was no further away from you on the other side of that dining room table than he was sitting at the defense table while you were up on the stand. Stop playing with me. Y'all understand me? But his sister got up there on that platform 3 days ago. She gave him the what for. She told everybody, I did not plan to be here. I have been dogged and degraded and dragged throughout for these last 2 years. Me, my kids, and my grandkids. I often wondered how I would be perceived and how people would react to me, knowing that I am related to this monster. She called her brother a monster in front of him and in front of everybody else. The same woman that nobody will admit to having disrespected or dragged on social media. I bet you they don't come forward and say, yep, I was one of them that dragged her. I was one of them that disrespected her and called her all out her name. I bet you nobody will do that. Anybody who did it will not today admit to having done that 2 years ago. Or a year and a half ago when the preliminary hearing happened. Y'all understand me? But she said it. She said, but you know what? I wasn't worried. Because the people that, she said, the people that I come in contact with, they know me. So I wasn't worried. The people that know me and love me, I wasn't worried about how they would see me. She then went on to say it totally bewilders her how her little brother, who used to be her protector, will go on to do what he did, knowing what she'd been through. So see, she could teach them other two how to give a statement and how to be transparent about the truth. Okay? Yes, Shantae, she does. She deserves an apology from whomever. And they need to give the apology the way they gave the disrespect, publicly. Go to the sites that you disrespected this woman on and give your apology. She deserves it because y'all were wrong. Whoever did it within the sound of my voice, Miss Sean B is telling you, you were wrong. It was okay to question her movements, but to disrespect her when she didn't have to move at all? Did you not think about that? She never had to pick up the phone and say a word, man. Hey, Kels. Thank you, back. She could have, like I said before, personally given her brother a great big tongue lashing about how he lied to her and know he ain't had no business around that little girl, no matter whose niece she was, and went on about her life. Stayed in the cut. Stayed private. Unknown to the rest of the world. But she didn't. She didn't. She cared. She put her love and empathy and concern for all of the people that he was violating before her love for her brother, which I dare say is very profound because she said what she said to him in front of everybody, and I'm nowhere near as finished about what she said. She was very transparent, and she shared something with the world that she frankly didn't have to tell us in order to get up there and say what she said. She didn't have to tell us that. She didn't have to tell us that she too was a victim, and he knew it. She didn't have to do that. To say everything else that she said, because it by itself was profound. But she did. And them three Loch Ness monsters could learn from her. She went on to say to her brother, look at me. She said, because what I need y'all to understand is this is my brother and I love him. And I'm not going to stand here and say that I don't. And I always will. But brother, you did what you did, and what you did was wrong. And you've got to go do what you got to do about it. You have to. Ain't no way around it. She said, brother, look at me. And he could not. He could. I believe he couldn't look at her. I believe had he looked up at her, all of that humanity that we angry people that are so want to rip him apart have been looking for in him, I believe it would have came oozing up out of his ass. I do. Yes, I do. And to hold it together, he couldn't look up at his sister. That was way too much accountability that he just don't have the courage to give. I dare say any adult that violates children for over 20 years don't have courage at all any damn way. So we were naive and expecting any. But I was a part of that naive crew. I asked that question, yo, do this dude have a heart at all? Come to find out, he knew what he did was wrong. He's not mental. He knew what he did was wrong. And you know why Miss Sean B says that? I say that because I've heard him on the telephone. Calling people words I can't even say because of YouTube guidelines, but it starts with an R and it ends with a tard. Did. Saying that to someone, he was in custody. And he thought that his biggest concern was to sit up and argue with the female about what was. That was the most of your concern, dude? Your concern as to whether or not a female respects you? One that have found out what you did? That's your concern. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, what he said was, see, Shannon know what it is. Ooh. Are we going to forget that? Are we going to forget that he said Shannon know what it is? Good afternoon, Trey Bay. Thank you for joining us. He said that, y'all, during that recording, Shannon know what it is. Really? Now, yeah, we could go so far as to say, oh, Shannon knew what he was doing. I'm not going to speculate on that. Because he very well could have been saying, she knows that I got many females. She knows that all I care about is me. I'm just doing me. And she get in where she fit in at. That's what he could have been meaning. I ain't here to speculate. I'm not going to do that. I'm here to just give possibilities on what we could think that he meant by that. But some people straight up run straight to what's comfortable during the situation is, oh, Shannon knew what he was doing. Shannon knew. That's what he meant by that. Well, we don't know that. That's all I'm saying. And I understand what you're saying, Ray Ray. I'm just not there yet, boo. Give me a minute, okay? But yes, I do understand what you're saying. I just mean as far as that phone call was concerned. That recording that got leaked to the public. Just ride with me, babe, okay? And so in that recording, what I gathered from that was he's a cocky son of a bitch. Oh, man. He thought he was the player of Detroit. not knowing that the true players was gone. They were gone. The true players, right? The true players. The ones that didn't have to get picked up at the corner, okay? The ones that the females truly knew about each other and they either got down or they got gone. Okay? The true players that had the females in the same damn house. They're in Detroit, they gone. Been gone. Them put they stamp down, made they kids now. They're gone. But he tried it. He tried it. And so, like I said, I knew when I heard that leaked footage, oh, this dude is neither stupid, he's not on the spectrum, he's just a nasty mudda. That's what he is. He just nasty, y'all. Okay, fine. Just like men have a fetish for feet. Men have a fetish. I mean, some people have a fetish for some of the nastiest, most disgusting stuff. But I dare say children is right there at the top. So anyway, his sister is saying to him, I love you. And there is nothing or no one that can change that. I always will. But you got to go do what you got to go do. But I wish that you would please tell the people who love her, and she said it twice, the people who love her, where she is. Because Naziah was innocent. She doesn't deserve to roam this earth. Oh, that's what she said. There were some comments in the courtroom and people got escorted out because of them. Even though I agree with what they said. Emotions were raw. They were heightened because now they're all in the room together. He still never looked up at his sister. And then comes in one of his survivors. Now, what I noticed was his survivor did not come in with a piece of paper. Her older sister who read the statement did not come in with a piece of paper. Now, if y'all need to go back and watch it, y'all go ahead. All I'm doing is telling you what I saw, and it is unequivocal. They did not walk in with a piece of paper. The assistant prosecutor handed them a piece of paper. Now, I didn't notice this before, and that's why I'm correcting myself now. She handed them a piece of paper and she was pointing at things on the paper. And I'm like, wait, what? Why do she need to point out to them anything if this is how this young lady is feeling? I'm confused here. What's going on? And the young ladies, the first one, I believe her name was Paris. And the older sister had some question about what the assistant was showing her. So her big sister pointed at some stuff on the paper too with question marks. And the assistant made herself clear by pointing at some stuff as well. And the big sister shook her head like, yeah. And then they went on and proceeded to the stand. Now, I don't know what the hell that's about. I've never seen that before. In all of the days that I've either sat in the courtroom or watched the courtroom and watched people give their impact statements, they either spoke from the heart, they had their own folders and that sort of thing. So I don't know if that was done for them. But if it was, I don't appreciate that. I'm not saying that it didn't, sit in line with how this young lady must be feeling. I'm not saying that. But I don't appreciate the way that they try to make it look as if it was their statement. How is it her statement if you've got to point out anything on that piece of paper? How is that? That makes no sense to me. He never looked up. He was blinking profusely, staring at the floor. Was he thinking? I dare say he was, and that's why he was blinking the way that he was. What was he thinking? The fuck if I know? Don't nobody know. Nobody. And anybody who sits and says, yeah, that nigga was thinking, but you're just sensationalizing whatever it is you're doing. Because you don't know what he was thinking. And I am not speaking up for him. Don't put words in my mouth or thoughts in my head. Don't do that. You don't know what I'm thinking either. But I'm telling you, we don't know what he was thinking. But he was blinking profusely. And body language experts will tell you that that is caused by thought, a thought process that is happening in the moment. They think, they're blinking because they're thinking. Sometimes it's just to distract themselves from hearing what's going on around them. They're trying to check out. But do we know for sure? No, we don't. So then the next survivor comes. And her name is Jalen. And that statement was read very quickly, very articulate, and they made it known that this convicted felon is beyond rehabilitation. And I agree. I have learned while being married to my husband and him working in the field that he does, that there is no rehabilitating these people. They just get worse. Their crimes become more severe. More horrific. Because there is no level of consequence once you give them their freedom. That's all they need. The rest goes in one ear and out the other. They don't care. Once that fetish kicks in, that's just what it is. And they will not be all right until they feed that fetish. But what she said was very profound. She was speaking directly, I dare say, to the judge. And then to the court, saying how we cannot turn a blind eye. Turning a blind eye is what has allowed him to do what he's been doing. And how what he did affected her. There were some orders put in place when the judge read the sentencing that I'm not going to speak on. Good afternoon, Wanda. Thank you for joining us. People took that order that the judge spoke on and they just ran wild with it. My only question is, why did he only say that statement when reading that specific sentencing? And I can't even say, well, he said it at the end of all the sentences. That's not the truth. Because after he gave that one order, he went on to read another sentence. So if we're going to talk about it, we're going to tell the truth. He didn't say it at the end. He didn't say it at the beginning. He said it while reading one specific sentencing for one specific case. Good afternoon, Leisure Lady. Thank you for joining us. And so people who don't know, but, want to talk about it, they gathered that it was specific to that one survivor. And it could be seen that way. Because, like I said, he only said it during that particular sentence. That case ending in those numbers. He didn't say it for everybody like he did the court cost and, the fees and all of that. Okay? And then, like I said, as far as his sister is concerned, I believe his sister just kind of it's like at first he was like a dry sponge. All this time he was just a dry sponge. And so all of the hateful things and the ugly things and the threats and the yells and the screams, all the things that we've been saying about him to him as he enters the courtroom and leaves the courtroom and all of that. It was like water going on a dry sponge. It just ran right off of it. But his sister, when she started to speak, it's like she dripped on it slowly. Just dripped on it slowly. And what happened to that sponge? It started to moisten. And it started to come to life. And when you do that to a dry sponge, it starts to slowly absorb what you're putting on it. That's what I believe his sister was doing. His sister was waking up a small part inside of him. Does that make him less deserving of whatever the hell he encounters? No, that's not what I'm saying. Yes, Leisure Lady, I believe that. She was showing him that she loved him. Because he was like a beast sitting there that is used to being in his eyes. In his eyes, hear what I'm saying, y'all. Used to being looked at like a beast. Used to being spoken to like a beast because of the thing that he did. But his sister stepped up there with all of her love and compassion, empathy, and even sympathy. And she didn't attack him. She didn't speak at him. She spoke to him like his sister because she wanted him to hear her. Because I dare say that depending on society, that day may be the last time she sees him alive. We don't know. We just don't know. So she said, I'm going to make this everything that I can. And like I said, first she spoke to the judge, then she spoke to the court, then she spoke to the world. Not necessarily in that order, but y'all feel me. And then she spoke to him. And she concentrated on the love for her brother. And she turned that dry sponge to where it can absorb some stuff. She opened up that little small section in his heart. She opened it up. What we all these last 2 years have thought was completely made of stone, and all he thought with was his manhood, his member. Well, she proved to us that he got a little bit. And maybe y'all can't tap into it. But I know who I am. And she made it known. Exactly, Lady Leisure. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. I'm just not concerned with it, if I could be so blunt. It's not my concern if he repents or not. Right? That's between him and God. That is between him and God. Right? Dead ass. And so when I say that I believe, unbeknownst to her, prepared that sponge for what was to come. Y'all would walk through that door next. I believe he knew, per the last four digits of the case numbers, exactly who it was. Because when Jalen walked in, he blinked ever so quickly up at her. He never looked up again. But when that beautiful angel walked through that door, and I'm going to continue to call her an angel because she did something that we haven't seen every time he walked in that courtroom like an ogre. He was bent over and shuffling and limping and not looking up. His posture was like an ogre. But when she came where he could just so slightly move his eyes over to where in her direction, because he never moved his head, he never took his eyes off of her once he saw her. That, in my opinion, was not a mistake. That was divinely designed. I believe that baby walked in that courtroom cloaked in something that no one else had. Do we have to like that? No. But you can't take it from her just because you hate her father. You can't say that she didn't do what she did just because you hate him. You can't say, man, F him, man, he can, man, no, she did what she did, man. She did what she did. Y'all want to know what she did? She made that humanity come seeping up out of them eyes. That's what she did. All these last 2 years, we've been asking, is he human? What is wrong with him? How could he? He don't care. He don't give a damn. All he care about is him. He don't care about his kids. He don't care about those females. He don't care about nobody. Well, that day, in that moment, he did. People don't cry unless they do. People don't cry unless they care. And in this instance, I dare say he cared about what she was saying. I'm not talking about the other ones. I did that already. I'm talking about this one. Just this one. And people who talk about God, who talk about right and wrong, y'all need to tap into that when people are saying this. You can't beat them down. You can't dog them and say that we're wrong. If you truly believe in God, how can you not see that? How can you say God works in mysterious ways, but you don't see that right there that's happening? How is that? How do you not see that this dude is literally swelling up? And he's swelling up, I dare say, with guilt. His eyes, the whites of his eyes are no longer. They are red. They are full. And he's looking up at her. And he's not looking mean. It's because he's trying to look over that mask that his cowardly ass will never take off. He's trying to look up at her, but he don't want people to see that he's looking up at her. He don't want the people in the back to see that he's looking up at her. He don't want the people in the back to think that he's being a nasty thing looking at her. But why shouldn't he look at her? Oh, so it was okay if he had looked up at his sister, but it wasn't okay that he looked at his daughter. It wasn't okay that he looked in the eyes of one of his survivors. It wasn't okay that he looked in the eyes of the one that had his face. Oh, it was okay for him to look at her while he was doing what he was doing to her, but now that she's screaming for some accountability, he shouldn't look at her? Yes, he should. Face it. You did this. Look at what you did. Yes, he should, in my opinion. Yes, he should. Yes, he should. He did it. He caused that pain. Why does he get to look away? Huh? He caused her to stand up there saying those things and shedding those tears and feeling that pain. Why shouldn't he have to face it? That's the least he could do. And I dare say, while he couldn't take his eyes off of her, that sponge was full. That sponge was full of grief and regret. When she said, "You took something from me that I'll never get back. You took my cousin, my best friend." He closed his eyes. I don't know if that was deflection or if he just couldn't take it. I don't know. But that's when he closed his eyes, and I'm here to just tell y'all what I saw. He closed his eyes. See, because what I think a lot of people missed was that's what that mask was. That's what that mask has been. It's been his cloth of protection. It's been his shield. But he had to see where he was going, and he can't completely cover his face because people had to identify him. So he made that mask as high up on his face as he possibly could. That mask was his shield. But when she mentioned Naziah, oh, man, listen. Listen here. I truly believe nobody could have spoken the same damn words and gotten the same reaction. No, I don't believe so. I believe that that was divine by design. And she told him, "You've changed me. I no longer," well, it was profound to me that she said, "I don't see you as a father figure." Because, that means she only saw him as a father figure, not her father. That's very different, y'all. Huh? Talk to me, somebody. Did y'all grasp that? When she said, "I no longer see you as a father figure." Now, maybe that was just a figure of speech for her, being the young one that she is. Maybe she didn't, realize that there is a profound difference between a father and a father figure. Maybe she didn't, and I ain't here to teach it. I'm just saying that's what that baby said. He clenched his jaws. Oh man, you could see the side of his face was tighter than a mudda. I dare say if he had clenched it any tighter, he wouldn't have had any teeth to chew with. He was pounding them down in his gums. You understand me? But then she said, I no longer see you as my hero. Woo-hoo. Now, see that right there? There's no ambiguity right there at all. Oh, she was clear. Oh, she was clear. You're no longer who I look to protect me because you hurt me in ways. Oh, man. You hurt me in ways that I'll never forget, that I can never heal from. That's what she said, y'all. That's what she said. And then she said, you've changed me. Because of what you did to me, you changed me. She said, I don't look at myself the same. Rochelle Hernandez said, I'm hurt. She got hurt. And she said, he changed. Yes, yes. I'm getting there, Roxanne. Rochelle, I'm getting there, love. She said, you changed me. You changed the way I see myself. You changed the way I dress. You changed the way I see men. And you changed my sexuality. Good afternoon, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us. That's what she said. And that, unfortunately, it's not to my understanding, but that, unfortunately, is what happens to a lot of people. Because of their trauma, they go to the other side. Especially when it happens that young, before sexuality is even a thing to their little young minds. They said that's what happened to R. Kelly from his sister. They become so hypersexual that it turns on something that is just never turned off. And sometimes it go to the left or to the right, whichever is the opposite of where that monster is standing. And when she said those things to him, I believe he did start to cry. Because I believe, just like his sister opened it up, she busted wide open, his baby girl did. Janiyah stepped it in and said, this space ain't big enough. Open it up. I want to bust this wide open. I want to, whatever little area you have of humanity, I want it bigger than that. I want to strip you of it. Just like you stripped us of our innocence, of our identity. Because now, right now is how she's feeling. Now I'm seen as a victim. I'm seen as, oh, that's one of the girls that man. So I want to strip you of your humanity too. And I want to replace it with guilt. And I believe that's what she did. See, you got to be that part of your brain have to be woken up first, compassion, in order to feel guilt. You just don't go from feeling nothing to feeling something. No, it's got to be woken up first, and I believe that's what his sister did. She woke it up. And then his daughter, Janiyah, came in there and said, okay, move that out the way. Put some guilt in there, and that's what he felt. Even if it's just for purposes of the courtroom. I believe in that moment he felt guilty for what he did to her. I'm not going to say he felt guilty for everybody. I'm not going to do that because I didn't see it. I'm only speaking on what I saw. And I believe he feels guilty about what happened to what he did to her and what he did to Naziah. Whatever part he played in it. Hey, Miss C. Porter, thank you. Mrs. C. Porter, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I believe she made him feel guilty for whatever role he played in what happened to Naziah. Because I sit here today and I tell y'all, he is not the only one that deserves to be in prison. He is not. I do not believe what happened to Naziah happened just by his hands. She wanted, Mrs. C. Porter says she wanted him to take accountability. And that's what she was standing in front of him, Miss Porter. That's what she was. She was accountability standing in front of him. Wasn't no way around her. He could not take his eyes off of her. And I believe that was nothing but God. Because he could have deflected. He didn't look up when Brooklyn was testifying, I heard. That's what her father said. In fact, you couldn't even see him because his chair was lowered to the lowest level and it was pushed back to where you couldn't see him beyond his defense pretenders. Right? And once his daughter was done, once Janiah was finished, his defense pretender turned to him and said, "Do you want to speak?" And he really quickly shook his head no. Closed his eyes, he blinked his eyes and shook his head no. As if he didn't know that already. Like, come on now. Really? That coward wasn't getting up saying a word. She didn't give him that much strength. But she was enough to make him feel it. And I believe he will hear her cries until the day he dies. And if that's all, I'm good with that. Good afternoon, Rhapsody. Thank you for joining us. I don't believe, in my opinion, I don't believe that there is a physical pain that could affect him the way hearing her cries that day standing in court will affect him for the rest of his days until God get a hold of him. I just don't believe so. But see, what we all need to get through our heads is, if today he repents and never does that again, even to the young men that come into the prison where he's housed, God will forgive him. That is the God that we serve, and we need to get with that. Now, a whole lot of people will say, well, I ain't ready, God working on me. I'm still mad. And that's fine. In your time, I hope you get there. But see, I've been living this for 2 years. And I'm done being mad. I'm done being disappointed. I'm done with the blaming. Those who did it, they know what they did. They know when they did and what they did. They know. They know. And as long as they keep hiding the truth, they better know that no matter how much they pray to God, forgiveness will not touch them. No matter how much they pray to God, they're hiding the truth, which is what? A lie. What did God say? Thou shalt not lie. And that's period. So they can keep thinking that as long as they don't say anything, but as long as they don't do it again, that they can pray and God will forgive them. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, let those that talk to you, let them know how this is working for you. I wonder who those three, the three musketeers, who they're going to get to go visit him now. because there was an order put in place that he is not to have any, and I do mean any form of communication with anyone in that family by that name or anyone related to Neziah. So I wonder, who are they going to get to continue their dirty work? I wonder who they're going to get to do that. Who are they going to cash app the money to so that that person can cash app it to him? Exactly, Smiley. Exactly, Rhapsody. God hates a lie. His word says it, Smiley said. Rhapsody says karma will get them. Absolutely, Rhapsody. But you know the strange thing about karma and what a lot of people have messed up? They think that karma is going to go directly to that person that committed the atrocities that they did, and that's simply not how karma works. Ever heard of the cliche, the sins of our father? Well, in the Bible, they use he and father. It means we, us. They just didn't use the word female and women in the Bible. They just didn't. I don't know why, but they did it. And when they did, it was the New Testament. I live by the Old Testament. Okay? I love old school. Love it. Nothing can beat old school. And so when that karma comes on them three, oh man, I pity anybody standing close. I pity them. Exactly, Smiley. Smiley said, oh no. My first thought was that they have children. They do. They do. But I wonder would they care? I wonder would they care? Because, see, we have to remember those same children told them what was going on. And when CPS came, they lied. When the police came, they lied. And they continued the lie. Even to where a bird's nest wearing chick went to the school to report Neziah missing, not to the police department. She didn't go that afternoon to be told you gotta wait. She didn't go that evening to be told you gotta wait. She chose to wait. Her daughter gave testimony up on that stand. I asked my mother if she wanted me to call the police or if I should call the police, and she said no, I'll take care of it in the morning. Oh, and the same daughter that she claimed she didn't really deal with that often, she went with her. So, I'm sorry, where was Lady then? If Kenyatta, aka Lady, was the daughter that you don't really deal with, how is it that she turns up and is able to go with you so conveniently the next day to report her daughter missing? And Lady, I dare say, why the hell was you okay with this chick going to the school and not to the police department? She should not have. But it wasn't a decision that was made by any office, Rochelle. Her mother gave her mother. Kenyatta gave the grandmother custody. And who she claimed was Neziah's father signed off on it as well. So when it's done within the family like that, no entity gets involved. Absolutely, Miss Porter, because they knew what was going on. And in fact, the entire family, not just the monsters that lived in that house, the whole damn family knew what was going on. And if not with Neziah and them, they knew what was going on with their other family members. How they handled it ain't why I'm here. I'm not dredging that up. All I'm saying is everybody else kept their children away from that household. That was not for nothing, man. That wasn't for nothing. Yes, yes, the laws need to be stripped and rewritten. They do. Because these laws, a lot of these laws and a lot of these constitutional rights were erected, one, before we were even thought to be human, black people. And two, when a whole lot of this nasty stuff was not frowned upon. It was a regular practice. And in some beliefs, it still is. And they justify it by saying it strengthens their bloodline or it keeps their bloodline pure. You a nasty, deflecting monster. You're nasty. Because your bloodline is going to stay what it is anyway, as long as your bloodline carriers live. But that is not how God meant it. It's not. But they do it. Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. Sodom and Gomorrah is nasty. It's nasty. And so are they. They are disgusting. And that grandmother knew what was happening in her house. And I can't wait until whatever justice finds them does. Because they deserve to be put in front of everybody just like the convicted felon was. They deserve, yeah, for all their nasty, disgusting deeds come out in the public, in front of the world, just like his. The world needs to know that Janiah's mother knew what he was. The world needs to know that Brooklyn's mother had him first. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that the convicted felon first messed with Brooklyn's mother? Did y'all know that? It was said by other family members that Brooklyn's mother first had him, got pregnant, and got rid of the baby. And then her twin sister took him in. Like the stray dog that he is. Took him in. And mothered 5 children by him. Yeah. While their mother allowed it. Y'all want to keep putting Miss in front of her name? Miss what? She does not deserve Miss. Mrs., Ms. She don't deserve none of that. She just doesn't. She allowed that to happen in her house. First of all, she allowed these male people to sleep with her daughters under her roof. Yeah, she did. See, yeah, no, not in my house. Not in my house. No, to each his own. But not only that, she allowed this one thing to go from one daughter to the another daughter under the same roof. Under her roof. That's what she allowed. So you tell me how you feel about her with her bird's nest sitting up there talking about how she suffered. Okay? Brooklyn's mother had him first. Hello, Sonia. How are you? Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Jania's mother had him next. I think all three of them. I think that's why all three of them are actually angry. They're angry because, in their eyes, this pretty boy won't be walking through their door anymore. I believe that. See, people need to know that pedos like him, they are deliberate in everything that they do. He sought out that household, and when he walked in, he saw that there was no other man. That's checkmate. That's check number one. See, he's got a checklist, right? He's got a checklist. One, is she susceptible to my bullshit? Absolutely. Two, let me get to the house and see what's going on over there. Any protectors? No? Okay. Three, how many girls are there? How many little girls are there? See, because my stuff, it started at age 4. So let me go check out the scene. Oh, it's a lot of little girls running around here. Okay, great. 4, where they daddies at? Oh, okay. Where are the fathers? Oh, no fathers? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yep, I'm good. Let me go give this one a try. Boop. Pop pregnant immediately. She said, oh no, I'm only 16 years old. Oh no. Okay? She got rid of that. He said, oh no, no, no. This one will not do. She's got to have me some more victims. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, 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 no. I can't stay with her. She's not willing to do what I need her to do. So he started paying attention to the other desperate one. Desperate enough that he told her what he was a convicted felon of, although he lied about the details. But a secure woman would have said, well, then I don't know what you're talking to me for. Lose my number. This is how he got in, Sonia. See, this is why I'm telling this, because, see, these are the details that everybody is failing to mention. Not everybody, but most of us are failing to mention how it all started in the first place. We're so stuck on only what happened in the courtroom. No, oh Lord, it go back 2 years. And I've been telling one of my good girlfriends stuff, and she emotionally couldn't stick with it, and she never really got on it 2 years ago. But even since now, she's like, oh God, I wouldn't have been able to take that. And I understand. But every time we have a conversation, something else occurs to me that I need to mention to her, and she's like, oh, wow. So while the convicted felon, should not have been over there point blank. No, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. And see, that is what a lot of people are missing or don't know while they sitting up there watching this stud looking thing standing up there snot boxing. A lot of people either knew and have forgotten or just didn't know at all. She had him first. She did. She had him first. And then Googly Eye said, I'll take your sloppy seconds, sis. I don't mind. That pretty yellow nigga with that pretty hair, Yes, sister, send me your sloppy seconds. I'ma have baby after baby after baby and after baby for him. Yes, I got 5 kids by him. As if it's a flex. How many of your 5 children were his victims, you nasty tramp? How many that you think is a flex? You allowed the father of your 5 kids to violate your daughters. Hmm? He didn't give a damn about you. How do you feel about that? How do you feel, or are you even capable of admitting the truth? He did not give a damn about you, googly eyes. Ray Ray, she can't look them kids in the face because they gone. They're gone. They were taken from her. Her relevancy has expired. All 3 of them. They need that Kool-Aid that what's his name? Jim Jones made back in the days, back in the 70s, the one that had that compound, and he had everybody drink that Kool-Aid. That's what all 3 of them need to be sitting back drinking. And then go have a seat. It'll be over in a minute. That's what they need. They need some of that Jim Jones Kool-Aid. They do. Because their relevancy has expired. And frankly, so has his. Because his daughter got to look him in his face and tell him exactly how the hell she felt. And now she's being protected by her sister. And I salute her for that. And when I look at her, she's up for the struggle. She's up for it. She right there. She said, I'm never letting my sister go. There you go. There you go. That's all she need. Rochelle, I don't think she will. Yes, she did, Sonia. She broke that beast. She was the beauty to his beast. Only that picture, that movie is totally different. She broke him down for many different reasons. She didn't make him feel worthy. She didn't make him feel loved. She didn't make him feel not so ugly. That she wasn't afraid of him. No, 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 no. It was totally opposite. She'd let him know. Just the opposite of the movie. Completely. And so his existence is irrelevant. And he can have a pitcher of that Kool-Aid. 2 whole gallons. Drink it. Oh, he couldn't take his eyes off of her, Sonia. That's a fact. Rochelle said the sad part is we know they split those kids up in different homes. You know what, though, babe? I agree that they did do that. But at least for a while, it might be necessary. During the therapeutic stage of this struggle that they're inevitable to be in. Right? Because it is. It's inevitable. They may have a fighting chance. Absolutely, I think they do. I absolutely think they do. Look at his sister. She made it, right? And so with the right counseling, with the right people to give them love and attention and be right there, not take anything for granted that they may be doing or they may be saying, they have to pay attention to everything, they do have a fighting chance. And I wish them nothing but grace. Nothing but God's grace. And his strength and mercy. They deserve it. those children are truly innocent. Even the ones he never touched, he still affected them. He still affected them. I've heard that a few of the children have tried to unalive themselves, and I'm glad they did not succeed. They thought it the best way not to have to deal with this, and that's really, really sad. That's really sad and unfortunate. But they got another chance. It didn't work. So they've got a fighting chance. They have another day to deal with it. Absolutely traumatized. Absolutely. And so I believe, in my own opinion, that the first thing was to get away from them Loch Ness monsters. Okay? Them three. And then, you know how they say out of sight, out of mind? You're able to, like, if you see one of them, you're reminded, right? And that may not be healthy in the midst of trying to heal, right? Depending on where the scar is, we can't keep putting water on it. It's got to dry out. It's got to heal. So if the water is what was continuing to make it soft and make the scab grow and get bigger and bigger, we got to keep it away from the water. We got to just keep it away, let it dry out, let the scab get nice and hard, and it'll start to heal. Exactly. Sonia, they could be triggers to one another. Absolutely. So them being away from each other right now, in the midst of this healing, because it's still very fresh, could be for the best. And then, as they get stronger and stronger, they can make their requests. And, sooner or later, they may end up in the same school together. God is amazing. Where those children are concerned, I believe that unless some more ugliness comes along, which I truly doubt, they're going to be just fine in time. As far as that convicted felon is concerned, I wish him to stop breathing immediately. Absolutely. I wish for him to feel like his breath is being restricted, just like those little girls did. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to point it out. I am sure that at some point in time, they thought they were going to pass out during these horrific activities. I wish him the same thing. And that's just, that's just, man's revenge. Of course, any revenge that God has for him could never be matched. I get it. But I'm human. And so that's all I'm saying. I really do wish that for him. I wish that at some point in time, if not all day, every day, he feels like he is about to lose his breath and pass out. I just hope that it doesn't get any easier to breathe. I just hope it doesn't get any easier to breathe. I hope every day he feels like he's having a heart attack. Yeah. I do. And as he's slipping away, he sees everybody. Since the beginning. I do not care what was done to him. I do not care. I don't care about what was done to him that made him do it. I don't care. He knew at first how he felt. I don't care how old he was. I don't care how it affected his brain. Like his sister said, he knew what happened to her. And he knew what pain she was in. He knew. He knew. His daughter's cries, absolutely. And I believe he kept his eyes on her because he knew that that would be the last time he'd see her. They won't let him rest in prison. He will pay every day for what he did to those babies. Smiley, I could only wish that that be true. I could only wish. What I do know for a fact here in New York, times are not what they used to be. Okay? We have some of the most, our prisons in New York have some of the most ugliest stories to be told about prisoners. Okay? Coxsackie, Greenhaven, Rikers, Upstate, Attica, Cayuga, Clinton. Okay? My uncle was unalived in Clinton. Okay? He was unalived in Clinton. He was thrown off the top tier. That's a fact. All right? Those men are not alive anymore. Those that we could depend on to exactly what the hell we wanted, even if they had to be paid. Those men don't live anymore. They're gone. Okay? The last of those Mohicans, I dare say, went with our elders, like our parents' age. They're gone. Unfortunately. Now, can someone in prison possibly be paid to do something like that these days? I don't know. What I'm saying is there was a time when they didn't have to be paid. It was recreation. You gotta go. This is what you did. You will not breathe by tomorrow. It was just a way things went. These days, something is done to you quicker for not doing what a certain person tells you to do quicker than why you're there. And that's just a fact. If they tell you to go and move this work right here over there to the other side, they're going to bring it to you during rec. You make sure that so-and-so get that. And if you say no, they'll unalive you for that faster than for why you're there in the first place. And that's a fact. And he's about to be a lifer. And before anybody get my words twisted, I'm not saying he got sentenced to life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he got to do at least 35 years before they'll even be like, oh, we got to look at this paperwork. He'll be 70-something. They're also saying that this convicted felon has a whole lot of desperate bitches in a fan club for him. And I hope just a few of them is listening to me. You're disgusting. Sonia says, and they will flop him. Well, I hope so. In every hole on his body. Oh yeah, Sonia. There is a fan club full of desperate females. Desperate, I tell you. Because you'd have to be to have anything nice to say to this dog. This mangy dog. It's been said that they have disgusting comments about his survivors. It's been said that they have disgusting comments about Naziah. I dare say that these are some of the same women that defend R. Kelly and what he did to that 14-year-old. Not to the grown ass women that went and saw how it was, left to go home, and chose to come back. I'm talking about the ones that were little girls, minors. Even if they were teenagers, they were still minors, and they went under a certain pretense, and that pretense never happened. There are grown ass women defending them over those kids. They're disgusting. They are very sickening, Rhapsody. Yes, they are very, very insane. They're disgusting. And like I say about the police, I said it in my last live and I'm standing on it. God forgive me, okay? But how else do some of us learn it until it happens? We feel some type of way until it happens to us. And then we're like, oh, damn. I've been wrong all this time. And so I said in my last live about this, that a part of me, just kind of wishes that something would happen to these racist cops, to these cops that really don't care about us, to these cops that say, well, yeah, she's 14, but she ran away. She'll be back. Yeah? What if it were your 14-year-old? Or you want somebody to hop, skip to it, huh? So that is what I'm saying about these females that are truly supporting him with love. And as long as he accepts that, God's wrath is going to be greater. Shantae, absolutely. They are a different breed, but they're our age. So are they really a different breed? Or do you ask, what the fuck happened to you? What happened to you? Right? I bet they walk around acting like they just as normal as all outdoors. I'm not sure how any woman can support that behavior, especially if they are mothers. Exactly. Sonia says, hell yes, they are different. I know that's right, boo. You know what I mean. Like they're from our time when none of this is a secret. That's what I meant. But yeah, they're definitely different from you or I. Absolutely. From us. Absolutely. They're very different. They're disgusting. They're desperate and they're pathetic. Absolutely. Absolutely. And until it happens to them or someone that they love, they're straight up not going to give a damn. And see, what makes them really pathetic is this dog cannot reciprocate any of this. Like, that's the pathetic, desperate part about it. Normal people give love where they can get it. He is not reciprocating any of that. They care nothing about reciprocity. They care nothing about that. Nothing at all. Nothing. They are actually good with the fact that he's locked up. He can't touch any other females. And so they're so delusional that they actually think he's mine. I'm sending him more money than anybody else. I'm writing him more letters than anybody else. And he writes me back every time. Oh, that's a flex, huh? You're pathetic. You're disgusting. You're downright sad. But what can we really do, right? So, y'all, I came up here to talk about this, the sentencing, and frankly, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. People can feel how they want to feel and they can think what they want to think, but I just wanted my supporters to know some details that perhaps y'all didn't know. Sonia says, you're probably right. A damn shame. Absolutely, they are. Smiley says they're soulless. Absolutely. But if you guys, in the future, if you guys do have a question, and, when I'm live, even if it's off the subject, and I'm live and you want to ask me. I'll answer it. But I don't plan on bringing up this sentencing again. I am done trying to help people understand my perspective of things because that's really all it is. And I'm okay with that. If they're okay with being mad as hell, then go ahead. If they're okay with thinking that he wasn't supposed to look up at the damage that he did, then go ahead. I'll pray for you too. But I'm no longer angry. I'm not. I can't carry that anymore, y'all. I carried that for 2 years. I've heard songs that were made by some content creators that literally brought me to tears. Rhapsody says we still need to keep talking about it from time to time because we still got people that need to be arrested. Rhapsody, you misunderstood what I'm saying, love. What I said is I'm not going to talk about this sentencing anymore. Oh, it ain't a person on earth that can stop me from talking about Naziah and those that need to be brought to justice. I'm going to do that. I'm just not talking about this sentencing anymore. I hope people can gain from it whatever closure they needed because frankly, there is nothing else that could be done to him by law. That would be considered double jeopardy. Even if new evidence comes up, he cannot be charged for these cases anymore, ever again. It's a wrap. And I believe, see, what I think some of y'all don't know is there were more accusers. But I believe that due to the statute of limitations, it was too late. Ariel said, I just want to say that I love your voice and how much you care about the topics you bring to your chat. I heard what you said to that chick the other day. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Ariel. Did they find the baby? Did they find Naziah? Well, we don't know. We don't know. The judge did say that per the agreement for the plea deal, he would have to give a truthful statement about the location of Naziah's body. That's what he said. Whether or not that statement was truthful, we don't know. We won't know. They said that the location would never be given to the public. That's what he said. Smiley said, I need them to find her so she can be laid to rest properly. Absolutely. But you know what's the pathetic part about it, Smiley? In my opinion, her grandmother is going to have her cremated and we'll never hear about her again. They're going to leave us thinking whatever we think. They're going to leave us believing whatever we believe. They got up on that stand yesterday. He did not say, where's my granddaughter so I can give her a proper burial? Where's my granddaughter so her spirit can stop roaming this earth? She did not say that. She did not say, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. I don't even believe she said Naziah's name. I believe she kept saying my granddaughter. Everyone in that house failed her. Absolutely. Thank you, Smiley. I'm trying my best, love. I'm trying my best and I'm going to be patient. My foot is in the door and I ain't going nowhere, y'all. People have been telling me for years to either write a book or start a channel. They have. Everyone who knows me, they have. My kids, my nieces, my sister, my husband, everybody have been telling me that. But I had to feel it. I couldn't go off of what they're feeling because they're not here doing it with me, right? So I had to feel it. I had to be ready. And I stood with everyone else for the last 2 years for Naziah. I stayed up late. I talked and I debated and we argued and we fussed and we cussed. We did that. But it was on someone else's channel. But I still wasn't ready. Like it never even entered my mind, even though I heard them saying it. I never even was like, well, should I? No, I didn't. But I have to give it up to everyone who was covering, not everyone, but the channels that I saw that was covering the Romika Meeks case and Tyrone Davis. People who knew me from other channels responded to me, and other people who were hearing me, they said the same thing. Sean B, start your own channel. Because they noticed how some people on their own channels, excuse me, either in the respect of time or just because it's their channel, I was being stifled. You know what I mean? I couldn't speak as long about a question that it was given to me or a subject as long as I felt I needed to. And I guess they noticed that because they would often say, stop cutting Sean B off. She was talking. Let her finish what she was saying. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people said to me in those instances, Sonia said, hell, I live in this country and paid for all of their salaries. I want to know. I know that's right. Miss Porter said, even courts. In your time. Thank you, love. Smiley says everything. Timing is everything. Smiley says we did, and I have said that as well. Thank you. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. Tina says, Miss Shawn, I love how you talk. I love your voice. You have a very calm voice, and I love you. I adore you, Tina. I love you, too. Sonia says, I live in Wayne County, not the country. I know that's right, boo. Okay. I was awakened at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm Eastern Standard Time. I'm in New York. And I had fallen asleep on the couch for watching some footage last night. And I fell asleep, so I stayed there. But at 4 o'clock this morning, I woke up, and I can't say that it was for anything particular. And if it wasn't, hasn't come to me yet. But I got up and I went to my computer and I just started doing my research because what I plan on starting is a serial series. I want to start covering some stories where serial unalivers lived in our midst and the system or the law enforcement caused there to be more victims than there had to be, for one reason or another. So that's what I was doing at 4 this morning, and then out of nowhere, I got sleepy. So I went and laid back down, and when I got up this morning, it was on my mind to go on and put this to bed for me. But you guys are my supporters. So anytime y'all want to bring it up, we can talk about it. Just please, not the sentencing. I'm so done with that. But if you guys want to... Now, I did cover Naziah Harris's case. You go on my page, you'll see it. You want details? We can go there. But I seriously don't think I'll talk about the sentencing again. It's just so much information out there. Other content creators are covering it, and I'm not the gatekeeper of it. All I give you guys is my perspective, and I do feel very strongly about it. Am I right? I don't think perspectives is about right or wrong. Okay? Smiley says, I love that idea. I watch a lot about them and how law enforcement cover it up in the name of keeping the community safe. Oh, girl, wait till we get into it, Smiley. It's crazy. It really is. It's maddening. And it's not fair because our babies fall victim to it, or our sisters, or our brothers, our mamas and daddies. People going to and from work, like it's just standing outside, just standing at the playground. It's just not cool, man. This country is so, this world is so wicked. It is. You know? So y'all, again, I want to thank y'all for coming and sharing, a couple of hours with me. I hope I helped give you guys a different perspective, how to feel about what happened during the sentencing. Maybe you'll go back and look at it, and you'll keep in mind everything that I said, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's what Sean B meant by that. And it'll just help you guys deal with it a little bit easier. It'll probably never go away. Naziah, I hope Naziah Harris is never forgotten. Like I said on Shank Rock's panel the other night, salute to Shank Rock, Naziah Harris had an assignment. That is why she was created. Well, why do you say that, Sean? Because that's crazy. He did horrible things to her. Yes, he did. And had what happened to Naziah not happened, would there have been a sentencing the other day? Would there have been a sentencing the other day? Would he be in custody? Would he? If she hadn't have gone missing, would he be in custody? Because he was only due to do 90 days for a weapons charge when he went back to court in February. He was going to turn himself in to do that time. That's it. But within those 90 days, he was indicted for the missing and presumed unaliving of Naziah and her baby. Oh, and about that baby situation, I said 2 years ago when people were saying, why isn't he being charged for the baby? He'll be charged for the baby. Yes, he will. I said to them, no, he won't. Why not? You don't know what you're talking about. She was 5 months. First of all, how the hell you knew how far along she was? Let's keep that a bean, because that's the other thing that I'm sick of. I'm sick of people jumping in these chats talking about, well, they went for the plea agreement because her grandmother said that it was okay. Do your goddamn research, y'all. The DA has a job to do. Will he let the family know that they're going after a plea agreement? Sometimes. But sometimes families find out on the news just like the rest of the communities do, just like the rest of us. Sometimes they will ask the family how they feel about it. Sometimes. Sometimes they'll say it's in the best interests of the children. I'm sorry, I've watched trials where the kid gave their testimony from a total different room. They didn't even have to be in the same room as the offender, as the one being charged. And when they looked at that TV screen, all they saw was the judge. So when I tell y'all that the DA says it's in the best interest of the children, we didn't want to traumatize the children. That's a nice way of saying this is the simplest way to go. But you got people jumping in the chat like they saw some paperwork where it said the grandmother gave the okay. Fuck out of here. Just these keyboard people. They just want to act like they got a foot in something. Learn how the law works. You'll sound smarter. You'll look better. I heard that they already found Naziah, and the grandmother is going to have a funeral. Who told you that? Because when you ask them that, when you ask them, who told you that? They ain't in the comments no more. They never answer that question, and they don't come in the comments anymore. Or when they do, they're talking about something totally different. That is that bullshit that I be talking about. People just talking just to have something to talk about. They don't share a link. They don't tell where they saw that at. Like, that is crazy. Sonia said, you know nobody wants to learn anymore. And that is sad. Because how can you say you care when all you really want to do is spew lies? Enough people have lied on Naziah. Her grandmother, her aunts, they lied on her. Because to one of the law enforcement officers, the grandmother said, I ain't gonna lie. I will admit, Naziah done ran away before. When, lady? When? When? Because he started doing this to her at 11. She went missing a few months after she turned 13. So when did she run away? When? See, so that was the grandmother still trying to push this runaway narrative. As if, just in case they don't, if they just don't want to do nothing, I'm going to give them a reason why it won't be fruitful in the first place. Because she ran away. Because she knows. This ancient bitch have lived long enough to know that if you give them a reason to turn a blind eye, they will. So throwing that missing out there, she did that on purpose. It just didn't go the way they thought it would. Because other family members dug their feet in there and they didn't step out. They dug deeper and deeper, and then they put their fangs in it, and they did not let this fall on closed eyes or ears. They said nope. They went to the police, they went to CPS, then they went to the news. They was not letting it go. What's up, Platinum? Hello, my friend. Y'all, J Platt is the one who made the song that I told y'all would put me to tears every time. I love it. She is so talented. I don't know why she changed it to J Plat, but Platinum Plus is who I know. And Platinum is truly talented. Hey, Shank Rock, salute my brother. Y'all acting out today. Plat, I love you, baby, and I got nothing but respect for you. Absolutely. I shout y'all out all the time. You, Mocha, Parker, Shank Rock, too, all of y'all. I shout y'all out because y'all are my home. Y'all are where I came from. Absolutely. Shank Rock, what your funky ass doing? Yes, Platinum Plus, y'all. Y'all want some music? Hit up Platinum Plus. She gonna give it to you every time. She gonna give it to you. But she made a song. She'd make us jam. Don't get us wrong. But she made a song that brought me to tears. Would wake me up out of my sleep. I'd have Mocha Joint waiting to play, and then that song come on, and I'm like, "See, Plat, kiss my ass," and I'm crying, snotting all over the place. Okay, I'm putting the channel for the ah. Thank you for coming, Shank Rock. Listen, Shank Rock, I need to talk to you because I need some tutoring on the computer. That's just a fact. Smiley said, Tootie is where I got a lot of my information about this story. Absolutely. I got mine from Parker, Tootie, Shank Rock, and I go over to Mocha to vent about it. Absolutely. But Shank, if I drop my email, will you please hit me up because I need some tutoring. I do. I do. I need. Why is this not giving me a place to put my? I will, Shank. Okay. I'm gonna I'm on my phone right now and it's not giving me a place to do my comments. Hey Charlotte, Stewart, how are you guys? How are you? So Shank, I'm gonna put my email next time you go live. I'm gonna drop my email, and I need you to contact me so that because I don't know how long Parker gonna be gone. If you prefer that I wait for when Parker get back, no, no problem. I can wait. Okay, I can wait. But I just got a new computer, and I just want to know how to do everything. That's all. Okay, so I'll drop my email. In fact, I'll wait till Miss Parker come back. Okay, out of respect for my girl, I'll wait till Miss Parker get back home from her trip, and then I'll hit both of you guys up, and we'll go from there. All right, Shay. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right. Ariel says, I get up early just to support your channel, and for the last few days, I've not been able to catch you. The notifications don't always pop up. I'm an hour behind you with the time. Yeah, if I say 3 o'clock p.m., it would be 2 o'clock your time. Okay, Shank Rock said, Miss Parker said you can drop it for me. Okay, I don't know. I'm on my phone, so it's not giving me a place to do a comment. If there's someone in here, well, I'll say it. It's capital B Sean 33 at yahoo.com. I don't know why it's not giving me a space to put a comment, but it's not. But it's capital B Sean 33 at yahoo.com. And I'll contact you as soon as I get that email. Cause I've got to learn. You want me to pay you, I'll pay you, but I need to learn. Shit. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I am so honored that my family came over to my house to visit. Yes, 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 yes. Some riders and some rockers and some bells, some Nola bells. Thank you, Shank. I salute you so much. Absolutely. You the brother from another mother. Absolutely. Y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I've been sitting here. I ain't even started my dinner yet, y'all. But I'm only doing some stuffed peppers and I'm going to fry a little bit of chicken. So, throw some bread in the oven. Yes. I don't know, Tina. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where Miss Gigi is. I have no idea, babe. Y'all, like I tell y'all all the time, I thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate you guys' time and your heart and all y'all blessings and love. And I love you guys after that. Y'all have a good day and be safe.